Should I sue my doctor? If you haven't been following my story, my name is Bob and I've had stage 4 chronic kidney disease since at least 2019. That's when I found out about it. And with this chronic kidney disease, I've also had high triglycerides because of this kidney condition. Now, in early 2023, I decided to start a carnivore diet in an effort to lose weight because I was more than just a little chubby. I was Boba fat. Starting at 232 pounds, I reached my goal of 175 within 6 months, and I was delighted. That is, until I did some blood work and my triglycerides spiked to astronomical numbers. I may even hold the world record when it comes to high triglycerides, an honor and a title that you don't want to have. Now, my doctor prescribed fenofibrate, and in the months that followed, I rapidly progressed to stage 5 kidney failure. He blamed my diet, but I did the research and found out that it was the prescription drug he had given me. There is a plethora of studies out there that says you do not give fenofibrate to someone with late-stage renal disease. And most of you know, who have seen my videos, I stopped taking the drug, and my numbers have started to improve. And I said in my last video that I was going to test again in March and that I would share these results with you. And I did. And so here they are. In December, if you recall, I had a creatinine of 8.08, which gave me an eGFR of 8, a cystatin C of 3.3, which gave me an eGFR of 17, and my phosphorus was through the roof at 9.2. I should have been sick, symptomatic, and on dialysis with these horrible numbers, but I felt fine, besides some itching that I had in my lower legs, which was probably due to the high phosphorus. Then in January, after being off the prescription fenofibrate for just over a month, I tested again and we saw some improvement, giving me a glimmer of hope. My creatinine had dropped to 6.36, which gave me an eGFR of 10, and this was a good sign because that's the direction we want those numbers to go. I did not check my cystatin C or my phosphorus at that time. But I did this last time at the end of March. My creatinine has dropped to 5.22, which gives me an eGFR of 13. My cystatin C dropped to 2.52, giving me an eGFR of 24, which, by the way, is the best cystatin C results I have ever seen so far. And then my phosphorus was down to 6.1, and the itching in my legs has gone completely away. Needless to say, this is awesome. I couldn't be happier. Well, that's a lie. Of course I could be happier, especially if those numbers continue trending in the direction that I want them to go. But to tell you the truth, I feel vindicated. I did the research, and I was right. I was also right in that my carnivore diet was not to blame for my deteriorating kidney health. My doctor was. And this has inspired some individuals to leave comments like this. That bastard. Just sue him for that. He will learn his lesson. Think how many people died because of doctors like him. And believe me, I understand the anger. I was certainly pissed when I was doing my research and realized that it was his prescription drug causing my unbearable cramps, my muscle twitches, my muscle loss, and my kidney failure. And yes, I am still bitter about it. So should I sue my doctor? Well, while opinions on this will vary and emotions run strong, for me, the answer is no. Why not? Well, for starters, I actually have a disdain for this mentality that the American dream is to sue somebody and try to get rich off of it. The healthcare industry is already ridiculously expensive. And yes, part of that comes down to greed, but a large part of that also comes down to the cost of malpractice insurance, which is often driven up by frivolous and sue-happy people trying to get rich. Sure, some cases are indeed legitimate, but a lot of cases end up being dismissed, and even so, they still incurred legal expenses for the insurance companies, who in turn raise their rates, and in turn doctors raise their prices, and in turn we all have to pay more. Also, not all mistakes are malpractice. Medical errors don't always equate to negligence. A treatment complication may occur without negligence, and the doctor may have followed all reasonable protocols. My father has been on fenofibrate for years, and his kidneys are just fine. Even some with impaired kidneys have taken fenofibrate without complications. And remember what I said in a previous video, that some of my research turned up studies that said the change in these numbers might not be reflective of kidney damage. And even so, the damage is reversible when treatment of the drug ceases. And that has been my experience so far. So what does this tell us? It's something that you already know, and I know, and so does everybody else. The human body is unpredictable. And what works for you might not work for me, and what works for this person might not work for everyone else. My numbers are improving, and improving rather fast at that. So to me, it looks like that I'm healing. This tells me that the damage was not permanent. I did not go on dialysis. I did not lose my kidneys. I did not die. It could very well be that in another couple months, my numbers will be back to what they were when I started my carnivore diet way back in May of 2023. And finally, I do like the guy. My doctor is genuinely a good man. He's not a dummy. He's very intelligent and has been spot on with several of my diagnoses over the last 10 to 12 years that I've been seeing him. The issue with the fenofibrate is just a single blip on the radar so far. And best of all, he's listening and learning from my experience. No doubt he'll exercise caution in the future if he were to consider giving anyone else this drug, making sure to schedule regular blood work to make sure there is no negative impact, as well as listen closely to that patient to see whether they start having symptoms like I was experiencing. And while he's not fond of the carnivore diet, because he's conventionally educated and trained, he acknowledges that I have lost a ton of weight, and I've kept it off, and I've reversed many of my chronic diseases like ulcerative colitis and more. In fact, the last time I saw him, which was last week, if I recall, he said, "I cannot reconcile your kidney numbers with how good you look and feel. Every late-stage chronic kidney disease patient I've had comes in here looking sick, complaining about how tired and awful they feel, and then every time you come in here with even worse numbers, you look good, and you sit here and tell me that you feel great, and I can't wrap my head around it." I'm sure he's not ready to admit it yet, but the reason I'm doing so well, in spite of my horrible kidney labs on paper, is due to my carnivore diet. Because I remember who I was before I started my carnivore diet. And I was sick. I was tired. I lacked energy. I'd fall asleep at the wheel. I had major brain fog and cognitive problems, and all of that is gone because meat heals. Now, if you want to be super cool, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I can answer your question in a future video if you leave me a voicemail in the link in the show notes below in the description box. And if you would like to do an interview, live stream, or video together, scroll down there and look me up. My name is Bob, and I'll see you next time.